$117,800 Bitcoin. Let's go. About to get this stream started here soon. Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Currently at $117,800 and climbing, getting a nice green candle here on the daily chart. And we're coming up on some pretty significant resistance. We just passed the $117,500 level, which was a very important level that I marked off here on the charts. This is a red line that I identified as it's been previous resistance in the past here, and has acted as support all throughout the month of July here. We passed that on September 18th, only to get up to like 117,998, but it looks like we're about to try to retest what we did here on Thursday, September 18th here. Today's October 1st. I am Damien. Glad to see you guys in the live stream here. We talk about crypto here because it's like the fun thing to talk about. We also talk about stocks. If you guys have any particular stocks, I'll go over whatever requests you guys have for stocks as well. I know the stock market's doing pretty well. The reason why the market's doing pretty well is because we actually had a jobs report from ADP, employment. They do payroll for a lot of companies out there, so they got a lot of good data out there as far as like who's hiring and who's firing. And they showed that there's about 32,000 jobs that actually went missing. We lost 32,000 jobs in the month of September, which is not great for those who lost their jobs. However, it is good for the markets, unfortunately. That is the only silver lining that we get, is that it is good for the markets, because the markets are now going to anticipate that the Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rates in later on in the month of October. We just started the month of October today. We're supposed to get another jobs report on Friday with the U.S. government jobs report, but because of the federal government shutdown, we might not be getting that jobs report. So the only thing that we have to basically base our decisions on is this jobs report from ADP that just came in negative, which they were expecting a positive number, and it came in negative. So, you know, the U.S. government jobs report, which is supposed to come out on Friday, which might get delayed till next week or whenever they open up the government again, is that going to show a negative number? Because if that does, then, you know, I think Bitcoin will launch up, as well as the price of gold and some other cryptocurrencies that are out there. The stock market will do pretty well, believe it or not, if we get a negative number on jobs report. In my opinion, I don't know. They might freak out because they might think we're going into a recession, but they're going to initially celebrate it for the fact that the Federal Reserve is probably going to lower interest rates in October. Maybe we don't want to see a negative number from the U.S. government jobs report. Maybe we might want to see more of a positive number, but barely positive, and that would fire up. You know, that would get the Federal Reserve fired up to actually lower interest rates. Because although their job is to fight inflation, their other job is to also make sure people have jobs themselves. So people losing jobs is a problem, and they'll have to lower interest rates because of that. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here. I see my TikTok guys. I'm doing a live stream with TikTok and YouTube, and I see Jack is in the chat. I see a guy here saying that we are so back. Oh yeah, look at that. If we can get up to like $118,000 Bitcoin here, we're going to be looking really good for a breakout and testing 120K at some point, probably later on this week. And that's really going to get people excited about October. The month of October is historically one of the best months, if not the best month, to be in crypto. And you guys are seeing that right now, right before your faces, as Bitcoin climbs up to 117,888, up $3,800 today, and up 3.3%. So October is currently living up to its name on the first day of the month here. And we're gonna take a look at the charts. We're gonna try to figure out where Bitcoin can go next. We're gonna try to figure out where some of these altcoins can go next here. I see Erika Labs is in here. Good to see you, Erika. Just trying to say hi and catch up with the chat here. I see Bitcoin Baby is in here. Good to see you. Who else? Let's see who else is in the chat. If you guys are in the chat, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat so I know you're in the chat, so I can give out a shout out to you guys when I see that. I see Jake is in the YouTube chat here. Good to see you, Jake. Jake with the number 4 in it. Do I like Kronos? Kronos has gotten beaten down, so I think I might like the fact that it has gotten beaten down recently, and it might be presenting a buying opportunity. We shall see. But I'll add that to the list of coins that I want to take a look at after Bitcoin here. I do have a list. Let me just show this to my YouTube guys. I do have a list so far that I'm going to try to look at on top of Bitcoin. And we got to look at Mamo, Pump.Fun, Pangu, XPR. I'm sorry, XRP. I can't believe I mispronounced that. Solana, Cardano, and Kronos. Okay, and then we'll take a look at some other ones. We have a request for Ethereum. That's another good one to look at. I'll put that near the top as well, because that one is a coin I think a lot of people own and they want to get opinions about it. And also take a look at prices here, not just opinions. But yeah, let's take a look at finish up here on the price of Bitcoin. Obviously, we're getting a nice green solid candle here. Bullish engulfing, completely wiping out yesterday's price action. If we were to continue up to higher prices, I'm expecting Bitcoin to get up to 120K in no time. Okay, there's not that much resistance besides 118,000. Once we get past 118,000, that should get us up to 120K area. I do have a 786 retracement saying that Bitcoin could get some resistance at 118,891, and that's measuring from the 124.5K level on the Fibonacci all the way down to where we were at in June when we got as low as $98,000 Bitcoin. I still think this Fibonacci is in play. Okay, and yeah. I think 786 retracement at 118K, 118,800 is going to be a level that we could maybe trade sideways. I'm not sure if we're going to reject, because we're currently knocking on the door of 118K. I think eventually we're going to bust through that door and see 120K here soon. And then of course we got to see if we can get back up to the all-time high of $124,500. Okay, but then if we can get past that all-time high, some highs that you guys might want to be paying attention to, just using the Fibonacci, is this 1272 Fibonacci extension at 131.6K. All right, that is most likely to get hit once we break through 124K. And then we got the 1618 at 140,795 here for a Fibonacci extension. That could be a possible price we might hit later on this month, believe it or not, going into like November. And then of course, for you moon boys out there in Bitcoin, it is possible here. This Fibonacci is saying that we could see Bitcoin get up to $167,000, and then we also have a 3618 saying $193,000. That might be the cycle top, but $193,000 Bitcoin is still a possibility here using this Fibonacci that I drew. From the $98,000 level to the 124K level. Okay, so we got that to look forward to. Of course, downside, if we get rejected for some reason at 118K, then we probably could come and revisit the 618 at 114,400. But I think we would just use that as support. I'm not sure if we'll go lower. I think it's all systems go for higher prices here on Bitcoin. So if we get a temporary pullback here, I'm expecting 114.4K to hold. Okay. I'm not sure if we're actually going to come down to the 0.5 level at 111K, but we do have a 100-day moving average also sitting there, so there is confluence between the Fibonacci and the moving average down there. 111K could act as our next support zone. I think we might be out of the woods and we might not be seeing 108 or 107K, but if you guys think otherwise, let me know in the comments here and the live chat if you think Bitcoin's going to go below 110K here. Okay. But also, just going back to the levels here, if we do come back, and if this is just, you know, temporary excitement for us, then yeah, there's also a 50-day moving average sitting at 114K. So I think 114K is where Bitcoin comes down, if it does come down in the next few hours, next few days here. I see John 316's in the chat. ZBCN and Chronos. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at Chronos and ZBCN for you. I think I saw ZBCN doing pretty well recently, because I mean it's had a couple of bad weeks here. It's about time that ZBCN actually goes up in value here. All right, so ZBCN, and we got some other coins here to look at as well. Let me just catch up on the chat here on TikTok. Make sure I got all the requests so far. Yeah, I think the last one was Ethereum, so yeah. All right. Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit some of your requests here, guys. I do want to look at Pump and Pangu, because they were actually some of the best performing coins here. Let's look at Crypto Bubbles. We're actually having a nice green day here on the Crypto Bubbles chart here, okay? And you can see that Pump.Fun is leading the pack here, up 29% today, okay? Then Zcash is also doing pretty well, up 27%. SPX 6900 is doing well, leading the meme coins at up 25%. And then Pudgy Penguins is also trying to lead the pack with the meme coins, up 18.4% today. So we're having a pretty good day. Of course, you got your some of your favorites, like Sui's up 9%, okay? Bonk is up 11%. So overall, a good day. Some coins that aren't getting any love right now. You can see Saros is not really getting any love right now. FTN is down 5.8%. XPL Plasma coin is down 5.9%. I don't know how long they'll stay down for. Maybe those could be buying opportunities for you guys who missed out the pump earlier this morning and might want to be looking for what could pump next. Maybe these coins in the red here could be coins worth taking a look at and figure out if you want to get involved in them. But we're going to take a look at some of the winners today, like Pump. We'll take a look at Pangu as well. Maybe I'll take a look at Zcash. No, I'll just write that down. That I do want to take a look at Zcash one more time here. And yeah, let's get back to the charts here. Okay, so let's move on to Ethereum. You know, because Ethereum is the second biggest cryptocurrency out there, right? A lot of people are investing in it, so let's see how Ethereum is doing here. Ethereum is up 4.5% today. I do have some previous chart work analysis here. I gotta turn the volume down on my end. I do have a Fibonacci that I was working off of, and this Fibonacci I drew from the highs here at 4,955 that we saw back on August 24th, down to the lows here. I drew it all the way down to $2,100, where we saw Ethereum at $2,100 on June 22nd. So Ethereum has come a long way. It's more than doubled from what it did here in June. And if Ethereum continues going up to higher prices here, we do have a 1272 that shows that Ethereum could get up to like 5,756. That should be a target that I think is easily reachable for Ethereum, especially if we're about to get the altcoin rally that we're all anticipating going into the fourth quarter of 2025 here. Then we got the 1618. There's a possibility that Ethereum could get up to like 6,751. And then we also got the 2618 at $9,623. Those are your upside targets for Ethereum. Downside targets, to the downside, I mean, we already came and visited the 618. All right, we had that happen here last Thursday, going into Friday of last week here. So those levels have already been hit. That was also a level that we came to test the highs here back in July. Okay, where Ethereum was at around $3,900, $3,800. So 618 coming into play. TA is being respected very beautifully here. And I think Ethereum is ready to run up, okay? But if it does decide to get rejected, then yeah, we could come and test 3,900, 3,800 all over again. And you got the 50-day moving average, this green line right here, sitting at 38.36. So you would think, you know, Ethereum, if it does get rejected off of this 786 retracement, just like Bitcoin's coming up on the 786 retracement, you could see Ethereum come down, retest the 50-day moving average, retest the 618 one more time. For those who showed up late to the party, you might be able to get Ethereum at $3,800, $3,900, but there's no guarantee, because I think we're ready to pump here in crypto, because this is October. This is the best month to be in crypto, and I'm just not sure if you're going to be able to get 4,000 Ethereum below $4,000 again. At least not the way things are looking here on the charts. Let's go ahead and look at the oscillators real quick on Ethereum. You see that the RSI is currently at 52.5, so we have room to run to the upside before Ethereum becomes overbought. Okay, and then here on the MACD, you can see selling pressure has died down from what we've seen from last week. We're about to get a MACD flip here, okay, on Ethereum, so that's good to see. And then of course, stochastic RSI is climbing in conjunction with the price, so it's just doing what it should be doing. And then as far as market cipher B goes, you can see that we have a green buy dot here. Green buy dot came in this Monday saying that, yeah, on Monday you should have been buying Ethereum. Okay, now you get to watch Ethereum go up in price. Okay, and with a green buy dot, I just noticed that, you know, on market cipher B, you're going to get at least a couple of good days, maybe even a couple of good weeks, depending upon how strong the move is. Where after you get that green buy dot, you should see Ethereum climb up in price. Okay. And we're just waiting for money flow to climb up some more. You can see that the money flow curved up around Sunday and Monday, showing that, yeah, if you were paying attention to this, you saw the money flow was curving up, and it meaning that money was going back into Ethereum, and now you're starting to see the results of that with Ethereum at $4,300. Okay, so just continue this trend up. We'll get a flip on the money flow, so we can actually get positive money flow again. And I think you're gonna be fine for Ethereum going up to maybe new all-time highs at $5,000 Ethereum at the very least. Let me just throw on one more indicator here, guys. I'm gonna actually look at the money flow indicator using this indicator by Joe Cool called the money flow intensity. And this is an indicator that helps visually represent the money flow. So you see that, yeah, money flow was coming down into the negative here last week, last Thursday, last Friday, but then it started going back up again going into Monday and Tuesday. We haven't got positive money flow, but I'm expecting going into tomorrow and Friday, you're going to get that green showing back up here on the charts for money flow on Ethereum. So things are looking pretty good for Ethereum, in my opinion. I think you're going to see all-time highs later on this month. All right, moving on from Ethereum, let's go ahead and take a look at Mambo. We got this request coming from my Discord. Let me just show you guys my Discord real quick here. You guys can actually come and join the Meet Gaming Discord here. You'll see when I go live. I post up when I go live. Like today, I posted up that I'm going live at 12 p.m. to everybody in the chat. And then I had a request here from Baby Toshi asking about Mambo. So that is a request. You know, you guys can put in your requests ahead of time on Discord, and I'll try to look at your coins here on the chart. So that's one way to put it in there. If you're not able to catch a live stream live, at least you can put in your requests, and you can see me talk about it on the live stream here. So I got you, Baby Toshi. I got you on the request for Mambo here. And then we'll look at the other coins as well. Okay. But yeah, Meet Gaming Discord, you can find that link in the YouTube description to my channel, and it should be in the video that you're watching right now. And then for my TikTok, guys, you're just gonna have to message me on TikTok after you follow me. Hopefully you guys are following me, and then I can message you back and give you the Discord link so you can join the Discord. Alrighty, let's get on to Mambo here. Mambo USD. And then let me just see what you guys are saying here in the live chat. Would it likely to go down again? I'm not sure what asset you're talking about. You're talking about Ethereum? Ethereum would only go down if Bitcoin is going down. Those two usually move together in tandem. They're like bros at this point, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I think if Bitcoin starts going down, you'll see Ethereum going down. And then you say, should ETH buy now or wait for it to come down a little bit? I don't give out financial advice on this channel here because I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know your personal situation, and I would never try to attempt to be a personal financial advisor because I don't even have the license to do it. But what I could tell you is if you're wondering if you should buy now or wait till it pulls back, what I would say is buy a little bit now, maybe like 25%, 30% of what you plan on putting into it. If you want to be a little bit more risky and you feel like the bottom has already been put in, then maybe you could try putting half of what you plan on putting into Ethereum. And then if you see a pullback later on tomorrow, Friday, this weekend, or next week, then you can put the rest of what you're going to put into Ethereum, and you got in at a decent price because you bought, you know, lower than where it is right now, hopefully, if we do get a pullback. But just that way you don't miss out, because you don't know. We could just end up pumping on Ethereum and going up to higher prices. I would say put a little bit now so you have some skin in the game. So if it does go up, hey, you're making money, right? Which is what we're all trying to do here. So I would say, you know, put a partial position on Ethereum and then wait for a pullback and then put the rest of it in after you see the pullback. Not financial advice, but that's how I would do it if I was trying to get into Ethereum. All right, let's get back into Mambo here. We're looking at Mambo currently trading at 0.077 pennies, up 26% today. So I kind of understand why he wanted to take a look at Mambo here. But Mambo has apparently, at least on Coinbase, maybe I can get better data here. This is Mambo on Coinbase Exchange. Maybe I can get one that has more data. Let's see how Mambo is on Mexi. All right, yeah, okay. So Mambo is relatively new on Coinbase. However, on Mexi Exchange, this thing has been trading since May of earlier this year, May 28th. Let me just do a quick volume check. Yep, all right. So we have some data to work with here on Mambo. I don't have the 200-day or the 100-day moving average, but there is a 50-day and a 21 EMA. This white line is a 21 EMA, and this green line here that's just starting to show its face now is the 50-day moving average. So we have some moving averages with the daily chart here that are starting to show up, so that's going to help in the future here. You are below the 50-day, which is not good to see, and you were below the 21 EMA for the longest time here after you got that little downdraft in the market. You got your correction here on Mambo. However, you're now peeking your head above the 21 EMA, so that is the first sign of being a little bit positive here on Mambo. I have done a Fibonacci on Mambo, and I drew this from the 3 cent level that Mambo was at back in June 22nd. You know, that was basically right around when Iran and Israel were attacking each other and the United States got involved. Okay, that was when the United States got involved that weekend. That was a bad weekend for a lot of cryptos and also the stock market as well. But we bounced up since then. Of course, after the stablecoin bill got passed in July, we saw a shoot up in price here on Mambo. And Mambo was kind of creating what I saw at the time. It was creating a rising channel. However, we lost that rising channel here. We lost that on August 27th here. So that was the time to get out of Mambo, when you saw it break this trend here. Okay, this little uptrend where we were trying to make higher lows, and then we just violated that. We just invalidated this whole rising channel idea. So now this is no longer in play. And then you've been selling off viciously and violently until it looks like you kind of got your bounce here on Thursday, September 25th. Okay, this bounce here on Thursday, September 25th, this low came in at roughly 0.0479 pennies, which I believe is higher than the low here on June 22nd at 0.033 pennies. So you did, believe it or not, you actually made a higher low. Okay, you are still considered going in the positive direction here on Mambo, at least in the long term here. It's good to see that you made a higher low. And now you're trying to see if you can start making higher highs again, okay? Because obviously in this downtrend, you've been making lower highs here. I want to see if we can get past this high here on Friday, September 12th, when this thing was as high as like 10 cents. Get above that level, I think you'll be looking better here on Mambo, because then you can say that, hey, we're making higher highs again. And then, of course, you would want to see if you're going to make a higher low at some point, okay? But the levels to be looking for on the Fibonacci, as I start to zoom in, you got the 0.236 level. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's at 0.08 cents. That's kind of where we're at right now. We're kind of hanging out near the 0.236 retracement, which is acting as resistance so far. However, if we can get past this 0.236 resistance level, then we're going to try to see if we can shoot up to the 0.382 level here at 11 cents. Okay, 11 cents is going to be kind of a tough area to get past because you got the 0.382 level. The Fibonacci traders are going to be paying attention to that. Also, you got the 50-day moving average, this green line. So you got confluence between the 0.382 level on the Fibonacci, and you also got confluence with the 50-day moving average. So this is going to be your near-term upside target, 11 cents. Okay, that is the level to be looking for on the upside for Mambo. And then, of course, if Mambo can get past that, then I think another likely level for Mambo to hit is going to be the 618, where we could get some resistance at like 15 or even 16 cents here. Okay, so that's going to be the levels to be looking for on Mambo. Even if Mambo doesn't get up back to the levels that was here in August, okay, in July, getting up to that 618, that's a double from where you are right now. This thing has the potential to double in price, okay, if we can just get right back to that 618. So I think Mambo, okay, Mambo is trying to do a reversal here, okay, and we'll just have to pay attention to this to see if it's making those higher highs and higher lows and getting into an uptrend here. But I'm expecting resistance at 11 cents and resistance at 15 and 16 cents if it does get up there. All right, let's see. Digital orgies in the chat. Okay. V-Chain about to wake up. Is that a request or are you just making a statement? And then Jake says you're bullish as F on Crow. Let's go. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kronos. Sure, why not? Arthur, we will take a look at Cardano for you, and I was planning on looking at Solana as well. Thank you for those requests. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Let's see if we can get those likes to match the amount of people that are in the live stream right now. And for my TikTok guys, let's go ahead and just show how much excitement we have for crypto right now by double tapping the screen. Right now we got 274 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000 for now before we get some more people in here, and then we'll try to see if we can get up to like 5,000 likes here. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit that like button if you guys haven't. Appreciate that if you can do that for me. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Kronos. I know I got a couple of guys requesting that. Kronos is currently trading at 19 cents, just shy of 20 cents here. Up only 0.4% today. I do have levels that I was looking at for Kronos. I think I can get rid of some of these lines here. I'm going to clean up this chart a little bit here. And I'll get rid of this for now. But yeah, we have the Fibonacci, which is a really great, useful tool here. I draw usually from top to bottom on my Fibonacci because when I do that, I'm able to get Fibonacci extension levels here to the upside. I know there are some people who like to draw Fibonacci from bottom to top, which you can do, and I do that myself when I'm looking for Fibonacci extension levels to the downside, okay? But you can see that whether you draw it to the upside or to the downside, I just want to clarify for you guys, the levels are pretty much the same. Obviously, it's working off of percentages, so that it's not exactly the same, okay? But you can see like the 0.236 level is the same as the 0.786 level. They're off by like a penny here. It all depends on what you want to see on the charts here, okay? For some people, they want to know how much of a percentage drop they're gonna get from the top here on, like, you know, in this case on Kronos. You know, a drop from here to here would be a 23% drop. If you draw, you know, the Fibonacci from bottom to top, like I did over here. And then you can see, like, all right, you could get even further drop where you drop down like 38% to the 0.382 level, or even 50% to the 0.5 level, or 61% to the 618 level, okay? Me, personally, you know, when I'm looking for longs in a bull market, I actually draw the Fibonacci from top to bottom. And I just know, like, the 786, if you just, in my mind, if you flip it, It's actually the opposite of the 0.236, so I just know that that's a 23% drop. I can do that math in my head, but for some people, they got to see it in front of them, and there's no right or wrong way to do Fibonacci from top to bottom or bottom to top. I just wanted to get that out there for you guys. It all depends on what you want to see in the charts when you're drawing your fibs, okay? But anyways, after getting into that little education about Fibonacci there, we are trying to come up against this 0.236 level down here at 21 cents for Chronos. That's going to be your upside target if you're day trading. We'll see how it handles itself at 21 cents. You could also get some resistance coming from the 21 EMA that might hammer you down to lower prices here. So we'll see how Chronos handles itself when it gets up to 21 cents, because you might see some more sideways trading action there. But if you're able to push through, I think Chronos is due for a run up here, where we could get up to the 0.32 level at 24 cents, okay? And then we'll see how we handle ourselves getting up to the 0.5 level at 27 cents. So 21 cents, 24 cents, and 27 cents. Those are your take profit 1, take profit 2, and take profit 3 as you try to push up to higher prices here on Chronos, okay? Now, if Chronos for some reason gets rejected off of the 0.236 level and goes to lower prices and violates the low that it put in on Thursday, we still have a 50-day movement average below us, and that's sitting at 16 cents. You would like to think like traders are paying attention to that level, and they're gonna buy Chronos if it does get up to get down to 16.5 cents here. That would be unfortunate. The only way I could see that happening is if Bitcoin drops down, below 114K and starts going to 110K or lower. Then yeah, that's going to drag Chronos down with it, and then you might see, Chronos come down to this 50-day moving average. But I think that 50-day moving average is your low potential downside target if Chronos does decide to go to lower prices. But Chronos has some proving to do here, okay? Because you're in a downtrend. Obviously, you had that crazy bull run here in August, and you've been bleeding off and bleeding down since then. Chronos has to prove to us that you can start making higher lows and higher highs and get into an uptrend. So right now it's been lower highs, lower lows. I just want to see Chronos get above that 21 cent level and also get above this candle wick high here at 0.021. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. 0.217 pennies here. Get above that level, and I think you'll be alright with Chronos going to higher prices here. Jake says he's looking for 50 cent Chronos. 50 cent Chronos, that's Moonboy target. Let's see if that is a possibility here. We got 1272 Fibonacci extension saying it could get up to 45 cents just based off of this Fibonacci. And then there's a 1618 at 53 cents. That's probably what you're looking for, is that 1618 on Chronos. But you got to get past the high here that you made in August at 39 cents before you get to that 53 cent target. I'm expecting some resistance at 39 cents for sure before you actually end up going to 53 cents here. Okay. All right, moving on from Chronos, let's take a look at a coin that is pumping up. Literally has pump in its name, and that's pump.fun. Okay. Let's see how Pump is doing here. And we got Pump currently trading at 0.007 pennies, up 19% today. I think it was up higher than that. It was in the 20s earlier. We seen Pump get as high as 0.0072 pennies. I'm just gonna say 72.14. Right now we're at 70.92. Okay, so Pump. This is a streaming coin, a cryptocurrency that works off of live streaming and helps live streamers like myself make money via cryptocurrency. The donations and contributions are all in Pump.Fun coin, and this could be an up-and-coming coin that has a use case. As long as there's money to be made, I think Pump.Fun is going to be around for a while. Okay. But it looks like here on Coinbase Exchange, I don't have data going further back than July 15th. I might have to actually use another exchange that has Pump.Fun for a little bit longer than that. And oh, okay, yep, we got Mexi Exchange, and yeah, Mexi only has data going back to July. So Pump.Fun is a relatively new coin here. I might have to zoom into like the 4-hour or the 1-hour chart to get some moving averages to show up. I'm in the 4-hour chart now, and now I got some moving averages to help me figure things out here on Pump.Fun. Okay, obviously we topped out here around Sunday, September 14th. We saw Pump get up to like 9 cents here, and I could draw a Fibonacci for that, but let's just work on the moving averages for now. Pump.Fun is above the 200-day moving average, the 100, and the 50. That's that red line, blue line, green line. Okay, so now you are back to being bullish again on Pump, at least on the 4-hour chart. And you got the 21 EMA curving up. The 21 EMA should get above these moving averages, and if it is, then you know you're definitely bullish on Pump.Fun. This is what a bull run looks like on any asset here using my moving average strategy. The red line, which is the 200, is below the 100, which is below the 50, which is the green line here, which is below the 21 EMA. This is how you know you're bullish, okay? When you got the white line above the green, above the blue, and above the red. And I think we're about to start to become bullish again here on Pump, because we've got above the 200-day moving average, which is good to see. And then we got above the 100 and the 50. And now we're just waiting for this 21 EMA to catch up, and it will catch up. It moves faster than the other lines do. It's kind of like a little kid, and like, you know, the 200-day is like a grandpa. It takes forever to move, but it will move. And then like the 100 and the 50-day are kind of like the parents to the 21 EMA. Okay, if you can think of it like that. So this little kid runs around all the time, but it likes to stay close to the ball here. So that 21 EMA will try to catch up to the price here at some point using my moving averages here. And this just shows me that we're starting to be bullish here. We're starting to be bullish here on Pump again. There is a lower high that we might have to contend against here at 7.5 cents. I think that's going to be a level. Let me go ahead and just mark that off. I could see that on the charts just now. This is a level that has acted as, of course, you even got some candle wicks here. But I'm sure, do I want to use probably the candle body here? I think this level here, 7.5 and 0.0076 pennies, is going to be a resistance level for Pump.Fun. So maybe Pump has another 10% rise in price from where it is right now before it gets rejected. Okay, let's see. I'm going to see if I put this up to here. About like 9% away. Okay, so Pump.Fun might have another 9% to go before you might get rejection. If I throw in the VRVP indicator here, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to show a node there. Let's see, VRVP. Alright, so there is a higher volume node here above us at like roughly 0.0079 and 0.008. That's obviously, you know, all the people that bought here in September, the middle of September here. They're probably going to click the sell button if they're not, you know, fully convinced about Pump.Fun here. They'll be back to break even once we get back to that price. So that is a level to be looking out for on the charts here. But yeah, let me go ahead and get rid of this for now. And we do have a value area high at basically where we're at right now at 0.007705. That value area high could also act as resistance. I think it did already. Yeah, we got as high as like 0.071, so we actually got above the value area high. But this value area high says that, you know, I mean, there's some resistance here. You would think like we might go sideways. We would have to continue to be very bullish to get pushed past this white line to come up to that red line there. So I'm expecting Pump.Fun to kind of like chill out for a little bit, give people a chance to catch up to the excitement here. And yeah, we could get rejected. We could get rejected from this white line and come down to at least this 50-day moving average, that green line there, at 0.0064 pennies. Okay, that could act as support if Pump decides to come down. And look at that, I'm talking about Pump right now. It is coming down a little bit since we started looking at this chart. You have a little bit of a high volume, not really too much of a high volume, but there is a volume node here at 0.067 pennies. But yeah, I think somewhere between 0.067 and 0.065 or 4, somewhere in that area. could be for the day traders an area to buy some relatively cheaper pump fund, okay, near that 50-day moving average. Actually, I take that back. It's not the 50-day. This is the 4-hour chart. So the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart is where I would be looking to buy relatively cheaper pump not fund if you're able to do so. Okay, but if pump does decide to go to lower levels here and breaks below that 50-day moving average, I expect a lot of support literally right at this area right here, because you got the 200-day moving average providing support, and then you got the highest volume node here, the point of control, that blue line is sitting at 0.0057 pennies. We'll just call it 5,700. So at like 5,700, you'll see pump probably get support at that level. So this is for the people who are trying to do long-term buys and swing trading. If pump does drop down to this 5,700 level, I would try to scoop some up. I'd be interested in buying pump at this level right here. Kind of catch a higher low, and then see if pump continues going up to higher prices to create a higher high at some point. All right, let's see. Lauren A is in the chat. Hello to you, Lauren. How you doing? How's your day going? And John 3:16. What are you saying here? You said Jake, Kronos will succeed. You have a big bag of Kronos. Yep. I know for a fact that you have a big bag of Kronos, John, because you're always requesting it every single day. But we can look at it like every other day, because like every single day, it's like, did it really do anything that day? Because if it didn't, it's probably, the same analysis from like the last stream. All right, Maria the Great, hitting that like button. Appreciate you hitting that like. We're at 546 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000 likes here on TikTok. Just keep hitting that like button as I give you guys this pretty good TA. And hopefully you're enjoying the rest of the live stream. Hopefully I'm entertaining and educating at the same time. I got the music playing, and I'm giving you this TA, which I hope is good enough for you guys. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button. Thank you, Alliance Marla. Thank you for hitting that like button. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Camera guy is asking about orderly. I think the ticker symbol is order on that, but I'll go ahead and write down orderly as a request here. Orderly, yeah, okay. So we looked at Kronos, we looked at Pump, Ethereum, Mambo. I want to take a look at the Pudgy Penguin coin and then Cardano, because I know we had a guy here to ask about Cardano. Let me get into Cardano first for that request, and then I'll look at Pudgy Penguin, and then we'll take a look at Orderly and ZBCM. How's that sound? Alright, let's do that. So let's look at Cardano. That was a request here. Cardano, where are you? On my watch list. There we go. Alright, so Cardano currently trading at 83 cents, up 3.75% today. And let me get rid of the viewer VP. I got a lot of colors. It's like one big giant rainbow color chart here, because I got the Fibonacci here. The Fibonacci levels are important to look for. Since we're at 83 cents, we're just trying to get ourselves back up to 85 cents, which is going to be the 0.5 retracement off of this Fibonacci. I think that's the level to be looking for Cardano. Also, we got the 618 above us at 89 cents. That's going to be another upside target. That golden pocket, 89.90 cents, is pretty important to be looking for upside targets. Let me get into the daily time frame here. Okay, so here we go. Daily time frame. Cardano got the bounce off the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average over the last few days here. And yeah, we are trying to get up to at least 85 cents. Okay, have we gotten up to 85? We got to like 84.5 cents. Okay, on Coinbase Exchange. 85 cents is an area that I expect a little bit of resistance, because you got the 21 EMA and you got the 0.5 retracement as confluence, saying that 85 cents should be a level where we kind of like chill out for a little bit. Hopefully it goes sideways. I don't want to see a rejection. We could get rejected. If we do get rejected, you know, we could come back down to 81 cents or even the 50-day moving average at 78 cents. Okay. But if we don't get rejected and we're able to push past this 85-cent level, then I think 90 cents is your next target for Cardano here. Okay. And then we'll see if we can get up to that 786 retracement at 94 cents. Okay. Which acted as resistance here on Saturday, September 13th. We got up to like 95 cents. And that was where you got rejected. So TA got respected off of the Fibonacci. It's a pretty useful tool to have, okay, in your trading view toolkit here. So I think that's, yeah, upside downside targets for Cardano, right? It's a downside is going to be basically the moving averages, right? 50-day moving average sitting at 78 cents. That's where Cardano could come down to if we lose the momentum. But yeah, I like the fact that Cardano's getting a nice solid green candle. You had your hammer candle yesterday saying that, hey, there's a little bit of a price reversal coming up here on Cardano. Sellers try to push us down, but the buyers came in and said, oh, nope, we want some more Cardano at that price. And now we're getting some follow through here on Cardano. So that's good to see. I want to see some more follow through. I want to see Cardano get back up to 85 cents at the very least. Not really a fast moving coin like some of these other coins that we're looking at. But hey, you know, Cardano, it's still a solid coin. You're above all your moving averages except for the 21 EMA. And it looks like you just continue putting in some positive price action and you'll get above that white 21 EMA. And you'll be above all the moving averages and just looking quite bullish in my opinion. Alright. So that's Cardano. Let's take a look at Pudgy Penguin coin, and then we'll take a look at Orderly. Alright, Pengu is a cryptocurrency that has done well. Pudgy Penguins is doing well today, up 12.3%. One of the hottest meme coins in 2025, especially around June and July of earlier this year, where we saw a Pudgy Penguin get up as high as 4.5 cents here. Okay, so I drew my fib from there, you know, 0.046 pennies down to 0.007 pennies, where Pudgy Penguins was hanging out towards the end of June here. And I got some fib levels to work off of using that those Fibonacci numbers there. And looks like Pudgy Penguin came down to 0.5 retracement and has used that as support. Okay, we're now cashing the bids, and we got rejected. Look at that, to the T on the 618 retracement. That's sitting at 0.031 pennies. Okay, we came up to 0.032 pennies. Okay, here on Pudgy Penguin coin. Okay, so we got rejected off the 618, kind of like chilling out for a little bit. But I would expect if we're going to be bullish here on Pudgy Penguin coin, we continue going up to higher prices. We might get maybe a little bit more resistance at that golden pocket number, the 0.65 at 0.033 pennies. Okay, that could be your next upside target for you day traders out there for Pudgy Penguin long. And if you're in it for a swing trade, then you're trying to bring this coin and try to see if this thing's going to pump up to the 786 retracement. That's at 0.038 pennies. We got rejected around that area on September 18th, September 19th, only for us to then come down to lower prices here. So Fibonacci still pretty useful in my opinion here. And those are your upside targets. Downside targets, I mean, it'd be pretty unfortunate if Pudgy Penguin gets rejected off the 618 and loses the 0.5. But if you lose the 0.5, you do have a 100-day moving average sitting below you at 0.023 pennies, which is kind of confluent with the 0.382 level. So I think 0.022 pennies is your downside target if Pudgy Penguin decides to just rug pull you and go lower than 2.5 pennies here. That would be unfortunate, but you got possible support here at Pudgy Penguin at 0.022 pennies for Pudgy Penguin. And then of course you do have a 200-day moving average below you that could act as support at roughly 2 pennies. But If Bitcoin is going to new all-time highs, I don't think any of that will happen here. This could be the bottom here for Pudgy Penguin, and Pudgy Penguin could be launching itself up. For you moon boys out there, you got the 1272 Fibonacci extension at almost 6 pennies, and then you got the 1618 saying that this thing could get up like 7 pennies. I think that could happen by the end of 2025, maybe around Christmas time. We'll see 7 penny Pudgy Penguin coin. All right, let's take a look at the orderly. And then we gotta look at the ZBCN and a few more here. Arthur, yep, we'll look at Solana as well. Let me look at the orderly, and I'll do Solana and then ZBCN. Okay. All right. Let's see, orderly. This is a relatively newer cryptocurrency that I don't think I've done any charting on, to be honest. Looks like orderly came out August of last year, so I'm not sure if that qualifies as new, but it's a coin that's new to me. I don't have any charting on it. This thing has seen better days here in January of 2025. I think like a lot of coins did. This thing was trading at 36 cents. Okay, we're literally at 36 cents right now on orderly. Okay, so we're retesting the highs from 2024 as of now. Looks like as I start to zoom back in on orderly, you did get as high as 47 cents on Tuesday. And what I'll do now is I'll draw the Fibonacci, which will be useful later on if we ever look at this thing again. And on the Fibonacci, okay, if we topped out here at 47 cents, you would expect this thing to at least come down to 618, which I think we already did. Today we came as low as 34 cents. So TA getting respected, okay, on orderly here, okay. If we come down just as fast as we went up, we could come down to the 0.236 retracement at 20 cents. So be careful with this one. Just because it pumped up doesn't mean it's going to continue pumping up. You know, there are people here that are trying to take profit right now on orderly. If I look at the oscillators, let's see, on the daily time frame, I mean, you were overbought here last Monday, I believe, Monday the 22nd, and now your RSI is at 64, which is fine. Okay, RSI at 64 means that you're not overbought, you're in positive controlled bullish territory. But I want to see this thing get overbought again if I want to see this thing go to higher prices. So if the RSI does go up to 70 here, then I would be more bullish, or at least I would, you know, expect this thing to go up to higher prices because of that. All right, I'll get rid of the oscillators for now. Yeah, I think downside target, if this thing does drop like a rock on you, you're gonna probably hit that 20 cent level here. We've already hit the 618. And we'll just see. I mean, we don't really have any moving averages giving us any data here besides the 21 EMA is at 22 cents. So if this thing does come down, it could get support off of the 21 EMA and also this 0.236 level. Just keep that in mind. We've already done the common retracement. Another common retracement, this thing could come down to the 0.5 level, which is at 30 cents. We could see 30 cents, so there could be another 20% drop from where you are right now. Just keep that in mind for orderly here. But yeah, if orderly does decide to go to higher prices and we can get past what we did on Tuesday, but we got as high as like 47 cents here. There is a 1272 that says orderly could get up to like 57 cents, and a 1618 at 69 cents. Oh my god, that number always shows up every time. I swear to God. We always have 69 showing up at some point in the charts here. All right, let's see. Of course, we have a guy here named Digital Orgy here. After I just said 69. IMO exchange tokens will be recognized as securities, is what you're saying? It just makes sense. Oh, wait, IMO. Okay, in your opinion is what you're basically saying. You think exchange tokens will be recognized as securities? Probably, yeah. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do get recognized as securities. Let's go ahead and take a look at Solana. No, you didn't miss Solana, Kyle. That's actually going to be the next one we're going to look at is Solana here. Okay. So let's go ahead and do it. Alright, so I'm looking at Solana currently trading at $219.75, up almost 11 bucks today, up 5.2%. Solana doing the thing. Solana has been in a bull trend ever since, well, I guess you could say ever since April. But I identified this rising channel that Solana's been making constant higher lows here, and also making higher high. And we came to the bottom of this rising channel last Thursday, but we're now catching the bids again. And you would think that Solana could at least make it to the middle of the channel here at 226 bucks. That could be a short-term day trading profit target for you day traders out there. $225 Solana. If it gets rejected, we come right back down, retest this the bottom of the channel here at like 201, 203 bucks here before Solana launches up again. But if Solana is able to get past the heart line here in the middle of this channel, and we just basically jump from one side to the other, you know, going across the creek here, as some would say, then we could see Solana get up to 256 bucks all over again. Like it, well, we saw Solana at 253 on September 18th. Maybe we do get up to like 256, create another slightly higher high, and then I would expect at least a rejection. If we're going to stay in this channel, I would expect Solana to get rejected at 256, 258, somewhere in that area, and just continue, you know, making, you know, higher lows and also higher highs at that point. Okay, I mean, this is straight up accumulation right here for Solana. Solana's just doing the thing here where it's not doing anything crazy, going up to like crazy high prices, but it's also not dropping like a rock either. You're just getting your accumulation on Solana here with that rising channel. And then of course I do have Fibonacci here, measuring from that $254 top that we had down to the bottom right at $95, where we saw Solana at $95. We saw Solana at $95 back in April, right? If this is going to be your swing low to swing high, okay, then you got the Fibonacci extension above you at 1272, $298 Solana could come into play. That is right where your all-time high is at 295 in January for Solana. And then you got the 1618 saying that Solana could get up to like 353, and then there's a 2618, $512 Solana could be a possibility here. Okay, that might happen. I don't want to give target dates, but maybe that I like to see that happen before Christmas, just in time for Christmas. All right, Digital Orgy. You want to take a look at the VeChain? Okay, I got you. Put that request in there. We're gonna take a look at VeChain for you. All right, and then we looked at Cardano, and we just looked at Sol. VeChain doing things. I remember hearing that on Mitch Ray's live stream. He's got like a little sound bite off of that. So, all right. So, going back to Solana, I did give you like kind of like the moon boy targets and bullish targets here. But yeah, if Solana does come down to low prices, I'm expecting like 203, 204 to be an area. If it stays in this rising channel, it doesn't violate it. It could violate it just to retest the 618 on your Fibonacci at $194. I think that is a low target for Solana. There's also a 50-day moving average below you at $188. Okay, maybe the 50-day might act as support if Solana gets rejected for whatever reason, comes down to these lower prices here. Well, if it does that, then I mean it's no longer in the rising channel here, and then I don't know if the rising channel would hold if we actually get down to that 50-day moving average. Guys, I'm a little bit under the weather. I think I'm doing alright so far on the channel, but I did get sick. Someone got me sick this week. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm gonna try to get through these requests as best as I can, and I don't know if I'll have the energy to make it to 2 hours on this live stream, but I'm gonna try to get through your requests and finish the coins that I'm gonna look at, and then that's gonna be it for this live stream. All right, let's see. Gotta look at VeChain, and then I'm gonna try to see ZBCN, how that's doing as well. All right, VeChain doing things. All right, let's take a look at VeChain. We're looking at VeChain currently right now, trading at 0.022 pennies, up 5.3% today. I'm on the daily chart for VeChain. I have drawn a Fibonacci, which I think is still useful here. Right now we're at the 0.382 level on VeChain. Currently trading at 0.022 pennies is where, I'm sorry, not currently trading, but 0.382 levels at 0.0225 pennies. That would have acted as resistance. It could still act as resistance. If we get dragged down and pulled back down to this level, we would want it to act as support and then try to launch our way up to the 0.5 level here. And what is that 0.5 level sitting at? That's sitting at roughly 0.0238 pennies here. And that's also kind of like right where that 50-day moving average is at. So I'm expecting that to be your next level to get up to on VeChain. 0.023 or 0.024 pennies, somewhere in this area. Okay. Then you also got the 200-day moving average above you and the 100-day. Those could be acting as resistance at 0.0244 and 0.0245. Somewhere in that area could be resistance. So if you're not using Fibonacci and you don't know how to draw Fibonacci, you can just use the moving averages here as your target for VeChain. You got the 50 moving average, that is a resistance level probably, and the 200-day and 100-day is another area to be looking for, where I would click the sell button if I'm like day trading this or swing trading this at that level there on the daily time frame. However, if you're using Fibonacci, you can just see like there's confluence here off of the 50-day moving average being at 0.023 pennies here. I think you got to pay attention to that. We're almost there too, like at 0.0228, but yeah, 0.0238 is a resistance level according to the Fibonacci here. Upside targets beyond that, you got the 618 at 2.5 pennies, and then we'll see if we can get up to the 786 at 0.027 pennies. And I drew this Fibonacci because I drew it from like the 0.029 level that you got up to here in July, and I took that from the swing low at 0.018 pennies here. So I do it swing low, the swing high, and that's how I got this Fibonacci, which I think is still useful for charting on VeChain here. Alright, so that's VeChain. We just looked at VeChain. I didn't really give you a downside target. Downside target gonna probably be this 0.236 level at 2 pennies. Okay, if you lose 2 pennies, it might be game over for VeChain, because this is a level that should act as support based on what you saw here in June. You saw VeChain hanging out at that level there. So yeah, 2 pennies, hold that at the very least. Put your stop loss there, because if you lose 2 pennies on VeChain, then probably gonna be in for a whole world of hurt, and you probably don't want to experience that. So just put your stop loss there so you don't have to experience the pain of going to lower prices here on VeChain. Author's talking about Solana again over here in the altcoin season. Solana GST. What is Solana GST? You keep mentioning that. Is that like an ETF out there, an exchange traded fund? Yeah. What is GST? I never heard of that. You hope. Okay. Kyle's hoping that Solana's gonna hit 250. I don't know if Solana's gonna hit 250 tonight. That's a lot of juice that it would need to get up to that level. I think Solana might make it up to like 230, 240 maybe. 250 is asking for a lot in one day. Mario wants to look at Zora. Okay, I'll add that onto the list here. All right, let's move on to ZBCN, because I know we had some people here that are interested in looking at ZBEC. ZBCN currently up 9.4%. Actually having a good day today. That's good to see. ZBCN with all this previous chart work. Let me get rid of the moving averages for now. Clean this up a little bit. But you were in a falling channel, a descending channel here. Okay. However, you were able to get out of this descending channel just by going sideways here. So that's good to see. You're cashing some bids now on ZBEC. Looks like we had a double bottom here at 0.0035. So I'm just gonna say 35,000, and also 35,000 here on September 1st. So you had your double bottom, and I think it's starting to play out to the upside here. And we got the next resistance level is gonna be 45,000. Have we got up there? No, we came close to it. We haven't got up to 45,000, but I think ZBEC could go up to 45,000. It might take a pause there, maybe go sideways before we go up to higher prices, and then you're still targeting 51,000 on ZBEC. That's your 618 to the upside here. Let's go ahead and turn the moving averages, see how we're doing on the moving averages. So with the moving averages, you got your 100-day, that blue line, light blue line, sitting at 39,550. If we were to come down, I would expect that to act as support, because that's also where the 0.382 retrace is at. So I think 39,000 on ZBEC. Your downside target temporarily, you could scoop up some cheaper ZBEC there. I don't want to see ZBEC lose 35,000 if it does go further down besides that, because then that invalidates this whole double bottom that you try to create here at 35,000. So 35,000 downside target, 39,000 also a downside target. Upside target on ZBEC 45,000, you're getting close to it, and then 51,000. That is your upside target. Later on, hopefully this month, we'll see ZBEC at that area again. Oh, yep, I've heard that before. The longer the base, the higher in the space we go. I'm not sure what asset you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about VeChain. Yeah, VeChain, the longer it goes sideways, the more likely you are to go up and higher. That is true. GST is a NFT. Okay. All right. GST. If I can find that on TradingView, I'll try to see if I can find it here. But if I have to go on Deck Screener, I can't do Deck Screener, because Deck Screener will cause TikTok to shut down if I look at Deck Screener, TikTok will shut down my live stream. I don't want that to happen either. So is this green Satoshi that you're talking about here? Looks like it's trading on Coinbase. Oh my god. Is that the coin you're looking for? Alright, you said yes. GST at 41,070. This chart looks horrible in my opinion. Okay. You're making lower highs and lower lows. You've seen your better days here. As I start to zoom out, back in March of 2024, and then also December of 2024. But this thing is like a real quick way to lose money, in my opinion. So if you're shorting this thing, you're probably doing all right. But if you're trying to long here, you don't know where the bottom's at, because someone probably thought this was the bottom here in April at 6,700, and now look where we're at. We're currently trading at 41,000. So I mean 4,100. So you don't know where the bottom's at. People thought this was the bottom, because you can see that we try to confirm that as a bottom, confirm that as a bottom, and confirm it as a bottom here all throughout the summer, and then you still lost that level. So trying to figure out where the bottom is, you gotta get some help with the oscillators here. If there's any bullish divergence, that could help. Okay, in bullish divergence, you would need to see a higher low start to be forming, higher low, higher low, higher low start to be forming on GST, on the RSI, while you're doing lower low on the price. So obviously you've done lower lows on the price, and I believe you were making higher lows. So this was trying to do bullish divergence here, right? Let me just try to draw this out to you. So you were making lower lows here on the price and making higher lows on the RSI, but the problem is that you actually started making lower lows on the RSI all over again. So the bullish divergence got canceled out. So you can't be bullish on this asset. There's really nothing. You don't know if you're catching the bottom. Like, you think this is the bottom, and then it can just keep going down lower. Let me go into the weekly chart. Start to zoom out again. Yeah, this is a really good way to lose money or short, in my opinion. I'm on the weekly chart now, and I guess you could try to make a case for a falling wedge here. I mean, how much lower does this thing have to go? This thing is heading towards zero. Bitcoin's going to zero. Well, maybe not Bitcoin, but it looks like Green Satoshi's going to zero. This thing's going to zero. It's already at zero. It's at 004. But you would think, like, if this is a falling wedge, it should break out to the upside at some point. You're getting close to what you would think would be the resolution here in later on in October. But there's no guarantee. Like, you could just keep on falling down. You could keep on falling down, and instead of making a falling wedge, you could probably make like a descending channel here and just keep going lower. Like, I would not be in this asset. This is an asset that's a great short. You just keep on shorting. Okay, every time it hits the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame, you just short it. Okay, because that would be the best time to short. Is like every time you come up to the 21 EMA, you just short it. Okay, and maybe that's how you're making money on this asset, because I can't imagine you're making money going long on this thing. Green Satoshi coin, I would stay away. I would stay away. We were, like I said, we were trying to make bullish divergence, and then that got invalidated on the daily time frame here. You were making lows. I mean, yeah, you're making lower lows on the price, and you were making higher lows on the RSI, but then you lost it. You lost it like right around the beginning of September here. So I would stay away unless you short it. Thank you, Faria, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. And I see we have what I think is a trade raid here going on. We got Trade Intuition in the YouTube live chat. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you. And I see Chris Klein is in here. And I see Mike Valmer, and DZ. And yes, DZ, we did Mambo. DZ, are you Baby Satoshi? Because I told people about my Discord. Guys, you can join me here on the Discord here. The link is in the description of the video, and also in my the description of my YouTube channel. But yeah, you can see when I'll go live. And then over here, I had Baby Satoshi ask me, can I do Mambo? And I put that down as one of the first coins we looked at in the live stream here, right? My TikTok guys, see that we looked at Mambo already. And that's one way to, you know, if you're not able to see me go live, but you still want me to talk about your coin or analyze your coin, then you can put in that request on the Discord, and I will, you know, put that down as one of the coins to look at. And we actually looked at Mambo at the beginning of the live stream. I think after I talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum, we looked at Mambo. So if you want to rewatch again, Yep, you'll see that coin. But yeah, guys, come join me on the Meet Damien Discord if you haven't already. And also go do a shout out to Joe. Thank you, Joe, for coming in and bringing your audience here. Joe is another YouTuber besides myself that talks about crypto a lot. I like to talk about crypto and stocks as well, so you can come check out my Meet Damien channel here. I got the shorts. I've been trying to talk about like gold and Pax G coin. Not trying to be a one-trick pony here. I can't talk about other things besides crypto. But hey, you know what? If I end up being a crypto channel, why not? You know. But anyways, let's take a look at Trade Intuition real quick here. I gotta give out the shout out. Trade Intuition. He goes live. That's Trade Intuition right there. He has about a couple thousand subscribers. Hopefully we can get him up to 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Let's do that as a target for Trade Intuition's channel. But his live stream, Joe goes live at 12 p.m. Eastern time, same time as I do. So I end up missing his live streams because we have like the same time slot. But if you guys don't see me on here on YouTube, but you still want to get your TA on your coins, then you guys gotta check out Trade Intuition. He goes live almost every day, 12 p.m. Eastern time, and on the weekends, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And you can see some of his videos here, some of his live streams, some of his shorts. Go ahead and check out Joe. All right, on Trade Intuition channel. Alrighty. And Joe, I quickly touched upon Fibonacci for some people who are wondering about Fibonacci, whether you could draw top to bottom or bottom to top, and it doesn't really matter. I already talked about that on the live stream, but just summing up, I just said in that live stream, it all depends on what you want to see displayed in front of you. Me and Joe, we talked about this yesterday because I guess there was like some confusion about Fibonacci, but whether you're drawing top to bottom, I'll just quickly do this real quick here. You know, if you draw a top to bottom or a bottom to top, it all depends on what you want to see, but the levels, they do match for the most part. And if you're drawing, you know, from bottom to top, you're basically looking for those percentages where if you have to see it in front of your eyes that, you know, the asset dropped 23%, then yeah, you can see that as the 0.236 level here. And then if you're looking for shorts, it's good because then, you know, if you draw a bottom to top, you get the fib extensions below you. You get the 1272 below you and the 1618, and that can help you if you're trying to figure out how far down an asset can go. Now, I normally, and just because we've been in the bull run and a bull market for most of these assets here, I normally draw top to bottom, and when I do that, I end up getting Fibonacci showing like the 786 is like up top, and then the 0.236 is below us. Okay. And another reason why I like drawing, you know, top to bottom on the Fibonacci is because I get the Fibonacci extension levels to the upside here to help me out. I get the 1272, the 1618, and the 2618, and that's usually how I draw my fibs, especially during a bull market. But when we get into a bear market and I'm looking for, you know, some shorts here, okay, and I want to see how far an asset could drop, like let's you know, maybe we could do that with here. Like if I draw from the top on this asset that's been a really great short so far. Actually, I gotta do it the other way, right? I'm so used to doing top to bottom, but if I draw from the bottom here, okay, to the top, I now can get Fibonacci extensions to the downside, and I can see, oh, right, 1618, this asset could continue dropping like a rock down to 0.0014 pennies here. Okay, so this is when I would draw bottom to top to find out how far my short could go. Okay, on an asset that is, like I said, this one has been a great short, but the past couple of years now. Well, you probably could have got stopped out over here on this candlewick high back in May, but still, like, overall the downtrend has been intact so far. You could get stopped out, but I think this thing is just a really great short, and I would be looking for the fib extension levels below us. And you got the 2618 saying this thing could go into negative territory. Oh, that would be funny to see. I don't think that's a possibility here, but yeah, most likely you got a 1272 to the downside, and this thing could get down to 0.0029 pennies, basically 29.11. And that's how I would figure out how to do a short, using Fibonacci. And I would have to draw that from bottom to top, and that's how I get my levels here. But because we've been in the bull market for a while here on other cryptocurrencies, I usually draw top to bottom, and then I get my fib extensions to the upside, which then tells me how high we could go if we go into price discovery mode, or, you know, just trying to figure out what the new high might be. All right, so we just talked about GST. I want to get into, we got to talk about Zora, and then XRP, and Zcash. All right, so let's talk about Zora next. And I usually do a 2-hour live stream, and I'm going to keep it at 2 hours. So I'm about to close up on the window for requests here. All right, daily time frame. We're looking at Zora right now, currently trading at 0.053 pennies. This asset's up 11% right now today. Don't have that much data for moving averages besides the 100 and the 50 day. I wonder if I could find this on an exchange that's had it for a while here. Maybe Mexi might have it. Nope. So it looks like this asset started trading back here in April of 2025, earlier this year. And it looks like you caught the bids here in July of 2025. Probably right after that stablecoin bill came in, and the market got excited about that. Bitcoin going up to 123K in July and 124K in August. So I can still draw a fib here. And because we're bullish here, I like to draw top to bottom from that move here. And I got the fib levels here to look at for Zora. And Zora looks like it came down to the 0.236 retracement, okay? Which for you guys who draw bottom to top, that'll probably be your 0.786 retracement, okay? But just for today's purposes here, that 0.236 retracement at 41,000, okay, is confluent with the 100-day moving average. So that's where traders who use Fibonacci and also use the moving averages, they decided to put in their buy orders in at that level. And we got the candle wick off of here. See, sellers pushed it down, but the buyers pushed us back up again. Also, same thing with today. Sellers try to push us down, and we got pushed back up. And we're currently trading at 53. I'm gonna call it 53,000 or 5 pennies, I guess. A little bit above 5 pennies. If this thing continues being bullish here and catching more bids, I would expect us to get back up to the 0.382 at 6 pennies here. And that would also put you above the 50-day moving average. So let's see if we can do that. That's your next level to be looking for. Can we get back up to 6 pennies here? I'm expecting 6 pennies to be your resistance level, because the Fibonacci traders are going to be paying attention to that, and also the moving average traders are going to be paying attention to that. And I'm just trying to see if on previous price action, 6 pennies. Let me just draw a horizontal line here. Let's see if I can connect any of these candle wicks here. It looks like right over here, you had a candle body close, and then a candle body open back here in August. And then you had some candle wicks that came down here to this level. So it looks like 5.5 pennies. Yeah, 5.5 pennies is a level to the upside here, target that you gotta pay attention to. There could be some resistance at that area in the short term. But yeah, I think after you get past 5.5 pennies, then 6 pennies comes up. We'll see how we do over there. And then the next level to be looking for is that 0.5 retracement at 0.078 pennies, roughly 8 pennies here. Okay. We'll pay attention to these levels first before we start talking about the higher levels, but you would expect this thing, if it's going to do a normal retracement, it should at least try to get back up to that 618 at 9.5 pennies, okay, or 10 pennies, that golden pocket level there, okay. But if you do that, I mean, you're basically doubling. So I think this is going to be a long term, maybe later on in Q4, later on maybe like in November or December, you might see the price double from where we are right now on Zora and get up to that golden pocket level there. Okay, so that's upside target. Downside target, just stay above the 100-day moving average, which is starting to show up on the charts here as that blue line at roughly 4 pennies. Don't lose 4 pennies, because if you lose 4 pennies, then you might be doing a round trip all the way down to where you saw this thing first trading at here in July at roughly 1 penny. Yeah, that's your line in the sand right there. Don't lose that 100-day moving average. Okay, don't lose 4 pennies. That 0.236 retracement, and I think you'll be all right. DZ wants to take a look at XAN. Alright, that's going to be requests from DZ. I'll try to do that for you. And then Chris Klein wants to look at XAUT. Is that a play off of gold? Because I know the ticker symbol for gold is XAU. And like the ticker symbol for silver is like XAG. And XAUT, I feel like that's got to be like something that's related to gold, and it's like a cryptocurrency. I don't know. You tell me in the chat. Arthur says he's waiting for $1. $1 on GST? Because that, I don't know. I don't know if GST is going to do that. Let's see. I'm just catching up on the chat here on TikTok as well. Arthur says, "What about GGT?" What about GGT? I don't think I've heard of that one. Is that another NFT that I can find on the charts here? All right, so we looked at Zora. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna look at the ones that I wanted to look at. I might skip over this. Do people want to look at Zcash? Does anybody here want to look at Zcash? Because Zcash actually was doing pretty well yesterday and today. But I do have XRP that I haven't looked at yet. And I got to look at these last minute requests here for XAN and XAUT. Oh, is it gold tether? I figured it had something to do with gold. That's pretty cool. They got a tether coin that's linked to gold. That's cool. All right, let's move on to look at Ripple XRP. We haven't looked at that. I like to save XRP for last because I always get people that are like, "Hey, can you look at XRP?" It's like, no, we looked at it like 10-20 minutes ago. You know. But I like to save XRP, towards the end of the live stream so I can get everybody that wants to look at XRP. We can look at it at once here. All right, XRP currently trading at $2.93, and using the Fibonacci that I've drawn for XRP, that 0.5 level, $2.78 was an important level to try to stay above. We kind of lost it here in September. Came back, that was good to see. Then we came up to the 618 golden pocket. I thought we were going to try to make our way up to like the 786 retracement here at $3.28, but that didn't happen. XRP was kind of like lackluster in September, in my opinion, compared to like Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin for the high market cap coins. So XRP created almost like a double top here, and then we came down and we kind of formed like a double bottom, and $2.69 was an area that XRP investors decided to draw the line in the sand over there. I'm not sure why. It wasn't a Fibonacci level, and it wasn't a moving average level. It was just like a psychological level. $2.69. I guess people like 69 so much that at least the XRP army likes 69, and they held us above 269. Okay, it came down to 270 here on Coinbase on last Friday, and that was it. That was enough to confirm. I guess you could call it a triple bottom at that point. Right, 1 bottom, 2 bottom, 3 bottoms. All right, time to go up to higher prices because the sellers can't push XRP down lower than that. And here we are now trading at 293 on XRP, and I think 299 is going to be your next resistance level to the upside because That's where your 618 golden pocket is still hanging out at. Okay, I'm expecting a $3 XRP, which is not too far off from where we are right now. But that could be a level where XRP kind of like chills out for a little bit before we launch up to higher prices. And I think what's going to be the catalyst going into October to launch us up to like $3 XRP and possibly like $4 XRP is the XRP ETF. I think there's going to be a decision about that later on this month, along with Solana and I think AVAX and Cardano and a few other high market cap coins. Those are the coins to be in my opinion, for the month of October. And then maybe November, December is where you'll start seeing some of your altcoins, smaller cap altcoins will start, you know, getting some love as well. But I think the big boys, the big market cap crypto coins, they're going to start making the headlines this month. And that's when more retail will start coming in. And that's probably when you'll see $3, $4 XRP, in my opinion, coming up, right? Because I still got the fib extension on XRP saying that you could get up to like $4.13 and then $4.74 on XRP. So that is what we hopefully might see later on this month. Why not? Yeah, $4 XRP. I like to see what Porky has to say about that. For the guys who follow Porky Flounder, I want to see how Porky is when XRP is at $4 and $5. I know he's starting to become bullish because it is, you know, an asset that has been bullish this year. But I'm really curious what Porky. I think you guys should. I know I'm gonna give Porky a hard time when I see XRP at $5. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys will do the same as well. All right. Let's take a look at XAN and then XAUT. Let's take a look at those next. XAN. So I guess we're in the cryptocurrencies that begin with the letter X right now. XAN Anoma. Excuse me, guys. I already said in the chat in the live stream here that somebody got me sick this week, and I feel like I need yeah. That's why I don't think I have the energy to go past 2 hours today. But I'm trying to do your request as best as I can. Is there a chart that has this with more data? What the hell is XAN? This thing's been around for what? This week? It came into existence on Monday? What am I supposed to do with this? This is gonna be a really short analysis. So this thing's only been around for like 3 days. I could try looking at the 1 hour chart maybe. Now I can have some more candles to work with here. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do with this, to be honest with you. Besides maybe put on the VRVP. Maybe that could help. Alright. POC. The majority of buyers bought at 11 cents here, 0.114 pennies. You're above that. That is your point of control as of now. Okay. This is your value area. Value area high. This white line is at 19 cents. Value area low at 10 cents. This is the zone that you're going to be playing in probably for a while here until you leave this range. You could buy here, and the value area high is above you, so 19 cents I would say should be your take profit target on Anoma. Okay. In your support, you don't want to go lower than 10 cents. That's where your value area low is. So you put your stop loss at 10 cents or maybe like 9.5 cents, and you're just hoping that this thing goes up to higher prices. But we don't have much data, so I can't really say if it is going to go higher or lower. It could go lower, it could go higher. I know that's not much for TA there, but hopefully this VRVP kind of helps out a little bit. Value area high at 19 cents. That's your take profit target for Anoma here. All right, so moving on from Anoma, let's take a look at XAUT. XAUT. This is gold tether, which I think is a competitor. It competes against PAXG, which is another cryptocurrency that tracks the price of gold. XAT, let's see, USD on Kraken Exchange. Let's see how that looks. Go into the daily time frame. So this thing is, I'm assuming it just tracks the price of gold. And let me get rid of the VRPP. This one also is relatively new, at least on Kraken Exchange. Is there? It's gotta be another exchange that probably has more data than that. Let's see. Usually Mexi usually has the most data. Oh yeah, there we go. Here we are on Mexi Exchange. I got all the data I could ask for. I mean, we all know the price of gold's been doing well this year. This is clearly one of the most bullish charts out there because it's following the price of gold. You know, the price of gold. I've done videos on PAXG and gold yesterday with my YouTube shorts, which I think you guys should check out. And check out those TikTok videos about gold, okay? But this thing is trading at 3,875, which is tracking the price of gold. So let's see. I think I do have the gold on my watch list here. Is that kind of matching? Right now it says gold is at 3,862 and this thing's at 3,875. So yeah, I mean, there you go. It pretty much tracks the price of gold. Not perfectly, and it's still a commodity, an asset. I mean, gold sells at a different price in Europe than it does here in America versus like China and other countries, but it's roughly around this area, okay? Kind of like with cryptocurrencies. Like, not every cryptocurrency exchange has the price of Bitcoin at the same price that you're looking at on your exchange. But anyways, this thing's supposed to be trading with the price of gold, and you're above all the moving averages. I think we talked about gold going up to like $4,099 is what I've seen on charts. Let me go into my gold chart here real quick. So this is what I have for Fibonacci extensions for gold. I got a 1618 that says gold could get up to like 4,099. I think that's what XAUT could do. Okay. I'm not sure if we'll get up to that 2618 at $5,000. That might be later on next year or years from now. Who knows? Okay. But I'm expecting gold to get rejected. I think 4K, $4,000 gold is a number that everybody's paying attention to. And I think that's a number that everybody pays in. It's a psychological number. Everybody knows $4,000 gold. What are you going to do? Are you going to buy gold at that price, or are you going to sell it? If you have it already, you're probably going to sell it, right? So I think as far as like XAUT goes, I think you're going to get sold at $4,000. But it could still run up. There might be a little bit more excitement where people are like, oh my god, gold's at $4,000. And then you'll get some Johnny come latelys here who are going to buy gold at $4,000 and then maybe push it up to $4,100, and then even more people will probably be like, you know what, I think I like gold at $4,000. I think I'm going to hit the sell button. So I think there's going to be a rejection off of 4,100 for gold. Okay, so I think you should be paying attention to that with your XAUT token, $4,100. Also, another thing that could like kill the rally in gold, in my opinion, is if we start getting the economy up and running again and roaring back here in the United States, you'll see more people putting money into the stock market versus gold, and that could be one reason why the wind gets taken out of the sails for gold. Also, if Russia doesn't actually start World War III, because I think right now a lot of people are pushing gold to $4,000 because we think we're about to get World War III here. But if Russia capitulates and actually comes to the negotiation table, that would also probably take away from gold. And then, you know, if Iran and Israel behave themselves and China and Taiwan don't really do much, then I think that also takes away from gold going up to like $5,000 or higher than $4,000. But yeah, that's my opinion about gold. And if gold gets the wind sucked out of the sails here, You know, I would expect at least try to come back to that 21 EMA here at 3,691. About a couple $100. You could lose a couple $100 from here. Okay. But yeah, gold is it's bullish. It's bullish. Let's see, oscillators. I mean, the other thing you gotta be careful with gold right now is you're overheated and overbought, right? RSI at 80.3 on the daily time frame here, higher than what you saw back here earlier this year at like 72 and 76 in like April and March, February. This is when people were worried about Donald Trump's tariff killing the global economy. You had, you know, price of gold going up because of that. And now, I guess with World War III fears and government shutdown, I mean, that's pushing gold up higher even faster right now. So RSI, you're overbought. You're overbought. But I don't see any bearish divergence because you are actually making higher RSI levels than you did back here in April and February. So you are actually extremely bullish on gold. Until you start making lower highs on the RSI, you cannot even make a case that this thing is creating bearish divergence. So I think you're doing fine with gold. And if your cryptocurrency tracks the price of gold, I think you're doing fine with that as well. I think it'll be all right. Until, you know, things get better in the economy, and if World War III is not a thing anymore, then I think gold starts to lose its shine. All right, so that's XAUT. We gotta take a look at GGT if I can find it, and then I think we'll try to look at Zcash before we finish off on Bitcoin. How is Bitcoin doing? Oh, Bitcoin is 116,800. So we're kind of cooling off from when I first started the live stream. All right, interesting. Let's look at GGT if I can find that. GGT, is that a stock or a crypto? I know we talk about crypto a lot here, but there is a GGT Corporation, which is a stock on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's see, USD. GGT. Arthur, are you still in the chat here? Because I'm trying to look at GGT for you. Is that a stock or a crypto? Yeah, Mario, I think after I started talking about gold, people just like, oh, Damien's talking about gold and stocks. I don't want to talk about that. I don't even want to talk about crypto. Yeah, I'm not sure why I lost some of my TikTok guys there. Maybe it might have been I lost my connection. I don't know. But I have a good amount of people here on YouTube. You're keeping me busy here. But like sometimes I wonder, TikTok I feel like is suppressing me on TikTok when I talk about crypto. I don't think TikTok. I think they're shadow banning some people on TikTok, and I think I might be one of them. Cause they tried restricting my visibility yesterday on TikTok, and I talked to other TikTok crypto streamers, and they noticed that they've lost their numbers as well. Alright, so there's gotta be something going on. Maybe my VPN might be messing things up. Let me fix my VPN on the phone. Alright, I just turned the VPN off on my phone here. And I was waiting for the guy to come in and tell me if GGT is a stock or a crypto, but right now I can't find the crypto, so I'm assuming it's a stock. So let's go ahead and try to analyze this as best as we can. Looking at GGT as a request here. This is a stock on the New York Stock Exchange, currently trading at $4.26. And GGT, oh my god, this thing looks like what do we got here? This thing looks just like one of those altcoins that's been going down to zero. Obviously, it's had better days here. June 2021, this thing was as high as 11 bucks. I don't think we need to zoom that far out here, but this thing is a great short, in my opinion. Anytime you get up to the 200-day moving average, you enter a short, and you can make some money that way, right? If I flip this the other way around, it looks like that, okay? Anytime you get to the 200-day moving average, you would short this stock, okay? But this is what it actually looks like in real life. This thing just keeps dropping down in price here, okay? So anytime you get to the 200-day moving average, which I think you're about to do in the next few days, next couple of weeks here, I think you should try to enter a short. Put your stop loss above the 200-day moving average, because you know this thing never gets above the 200-day moving average. Last time it got above the 200-day moving average was like here in June of 2024, a year ago. So I think that's the play. I mean, you could try shorting at the 100-day moving average, that blue line. But just know that sometimes it does go up to the 200-day, but when it gets to the 200-day, it gets rejected. Rejected. You know, the only time it came above was like back here in May of 2024, June of 2024. So I would look for shorts on this thing, in my opinion, right? And then, you know, how far do you take it down? Well, I would have to do the Fibonacci to the downside, you know, like I was talking to Joe the other day, yesterday, but I would probably draw the Fibonacci like this, okay? And I would probably take this down to the 1272 at $3.59 is where I would try to take profit on my short. And I would try to enter near the 100-day, or right where we're at right now, and maybe enter near the 200-day moving average. And then put the stop loss above the 200-day moving average, knowing that this thing is never going to stop me out, or most likely won't stop me out as long as my stop loss is above the 200-day moving average, trying to short this thing. That's how I would play this thing. Chris Klein says he's not big on gold or silver or stocks, but this is your first go at it. Hey, you know, kudos to you, Chris, for trying something different and trying to diversify and play your hand in other markets besides crypto. I know a lot of people here are big on crypto, but there are other ways to make money. And, you know, for those who want to still make money during a crypto bear market, you know, stock market and gold is another way to try to make some money besides stock market world. I mean, besides crypto world. You can get into stocks, you can get into gold and silver, trade oil too. You know, there's other ways to make money besides crypto. And I'm glad you're trying to throw your hat in the ring on that, because I myself, I'm involved. I've done the stock market, I've done stock options, I've done calls and puts, I've done you know, buying like ETFs that are tracking the price of oil and stuff like that. I've done that before I got into crypto. And then I got into crypto myself and was able to be successful in it, where I bought Ethereum at like $150, $200, and then I sold it at like $3,800. I didn't get the top, you know. And I remember buying my first Bitcoin at like $3,000 is when I first got involved in Bitcoin back in like 2017 and 2016. And being successful in Bitcoin allowed me to buy my first house, and then I was able to get into real estate. So I'm in real estate, I'm in crypto, I'm in stocks. And the more you learn, the better you end up being. You can take the knowledge that you get from one market, bring it into another market, and just continue buying low and selling high as they continue printing more dollars over the long term here. But yeah, that's GGT. Let's go ahead and we'll look at one more crypto here. We'll look at the Zcash, which actually did pretty well today and yesterday. So we'll look at that, and then we'll finish off on Bitcoin here. Oh my God! Are you guys looking at this right now? This is Zcash, up 42% today. Let me go back in the crypto bubbles here. Look at this thing, the biggest bubble of them all. Zcash up 43%. Oh my God, what the? All right, we definitely gotta look at this one. I think this is a good coin to finish off the live stream at. Why not? But we got Zcash currently trading at $105.60, up 42% today. Jesus Christ. And funny enough, I think TikTok is shadow banning me because there's nobody on my TikTok right now. That's unfortunate. It's a good thing I got other live streams. I got YouTube for me here. TikTok is doing fishy things right now. Right now, we got money being made in crypto, and they're shadow banning all the crypto TikTokers right now. They do not want us spreading the knowledge here about these cryptocurrencies and how life-changing they can be. All right, Zcash. I'm trying to look at how high Zcash has been in the past. Looks like we've seen Zcash get as high as, let me just zoom in here as best as I can. Zcash has been as high as like $371 back in like May of 2021. We got a lower high here in like November of 2021 at 305. And what else? What else? All right. More recently, though, we've seen Zcash as high as back here in November of 2024 and December of 2024. We saw this thing as high as like $79. Wow. And I think I talked to somebody yesterday who requested Zcash, and they said that Zcash is doing like a halving. So Zcash is experiencing their own version of their halving. So there's less Zcash to go around for the Zcash miners out there. So there's less selling pressure for Zcash, and you're now, I guess, seeing that play out literally before your eyes today on Zcash today. And yeah, yesterday we saw Zcash up 3%, but then the day before that it was up like 18%. So it was cashing some bids over the weekend and earlier this week, and now we're seeing I'm assuming this is going to be a blow off top here. Let's take a look at the oscillators here. I mean, Zcash it probably should be overbought. It's at 87 on the RSI. So I would not be trying to get into Zcash right now. The move has already been made. You missed it. Maybe it could be a possible short. Okay. But I'm not sure if you want to get in front of that short right now. This thing could continue stopping out the shorts right now. Again, obviously this is definitely a short squeeze. Has to be, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and try to draw a Fibonacci on this. I'll take it down here. Okay. So if this is the top for Zcash at $109.23, then this thing could pull back to the 786 at 93 bucks. Okay, that should be your short term. If you're shorting it, that should be a target that should be reachable. If you're trying to short Zcash, then the next target below that, you would expect Zcash to pull back to at least 80 bucks, where the 618 retracement's at. And then I would close out my short and probably try to flip long, because that is a normal pullback for Zcash. If it does come down to that level, you would expect at least, you know, a possible higher low here if it's bullish, and then head up to higher prices. But if Zcash is extremely bullish, then you might only get a shallow pullback to that 786 retracement, and then that's as far down as it goes before it goes to higher prices. And if Zcash does go to higher prices here, you got the 1272 above you at 129 bucks, and then you get the 1618 at 155 bucks. That could happen later on this year if we're still bullish on Zcash here. But I think most likely level above you is the $129 level, which is your 1272. That usually gets hit if we are going to break out to the upside. But man, oh man, oh man. Wow, Zcash. Congratulations to the Zcash investors out there. And I guess we'll finish up here on Bitcoin, and then we'll just have to see each other tomorrow, same time. All right. Bitcoin currently trading at 116,860. Looks like we topped out here today at $118,280. Let's go Bitcoin. I'm so happy to see that. That must have happened while I was looking at the altcoins here with you guys. Let me get into the 1 hour. Actually, no. Let me get into the 15-minute time frame. When the hell did that happen? Because that happened when I was busy talking about these other coins here. We saw Bitcoin get up to 118,280 around 12:30. So like 30 minutes into my live stream here, roughly, is when we topped out here on Bitcoin. Yeah, 12:35 is what it's just showing. So that's good, guys. The reason why I got excited there is because that's higher. That 118,280, even though now it's just a candle wick high, that's now higher than what we did here on Thursday, September 18th. Okay, was it like 2 Thursdays ago? Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. We just went higher than what we did a couple of weeks ago. That was the high for the week back then. Okay, higher than these other candle wicks here in August. Higher than some of these candle body closes here in August, when we saw Bitcoin at 124,500. So we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer to Bitcoin trying to go back to 120k, in my opinion. And you know, like I said, I got the 786 retracement at 118,891. That would be where I expect more resistance. So we're not out of the woods yet, but we're making some positive progress here on Bitcoin, and I think the altcoins are going to see that as well, making positive price action. I want to see us get back to $118,000, close out the day at that area, and then, you know, we could be talking about 120k Bitcoin right around this week. Wouldn't that be a great way to start October, or Uptober as some call it here in cryptocurrency world? The crypto bros, you guys should be happy. We are still positive here on Bitcoin, right? We made higher low, and now we're trying to start making higher highs here. And that was the beginning of some good things to see here, was 118,280. I want to see us close above $118,000. That would be nice to see later on tonight, but I'll take it for tomorrow as well, you know. It doesn't have to be tonight, it could be tomorrow, but I want to see $118,000. I want to see us stay above that level. And then we're talking about 120k Bitcoin, and then we can start talking about all-time highs, and then we can start talking about like price discovery mode, where we can see Bitcoin get to $140,000 on the 1618, and then that 2618 at $167,000 Bitcoin. And then, you know what, guys, just to throw in some hopium out there, you guys want to figure out how high Bitcoin could possibly go? Let's see what the Pi signal indicator has to say about things. The Pi signal indicator, top indicator. If Bitcoin was to start topping out, which I don't think it's doing, but it could top. If it was to top out today, according to the Pi signal indicator, this orange line in the price needs to catch up to that green line. That green line is at $198,000 Bitcoin. So if the Pi signal indicator is right, which has been the last couple of cycles, you got to see Bitcoin get up to 198,000, and it needs to do that today before you can say Bitcoin's topping out. Pi signal indicator is saying that $198,000 Bitcoin is that's when you need to click the sell button on Bitcoin if you want to catch the top. Because this indicator has been right back in 2021, where we saw that orange line catch up to the green line, and we also saw the price try to catch up to the green line. It actually the price went above the green line. This is how you know how bullish 2021 was, because not only was the price above the orange line, but it was also above the green line, and the green line and the orange line had to catch up to the price of Bitcoin. And by the time the orange line catch up to the green line, that usually indicates the top. So if you play this Pi signal indicator accordingly, the way it should be played, when the orange crosses the green line, when they cross streams like Ghostbusters, okay, that's when you should sell Bitcoin. And that was around April 10th of 2021, and you would have sold your Bitcoin anywhere between $58,000 and $59,000, which would have been a good area. I mean, Bitcoin only went up to like $64,000 after that, but that was like near the top, right? It said that April 10th was when you need to get out of Bitcoin, and then April 14th is the top of Bitcoin in 2021. And then, I don't know. I mean, I know Bitcoin went higher than in 2021. You could say that this is like a little bit of a fluke, okay? But, I mean, selling Bitcoin at $58,000, I mean, how many people did that in 2021? I don't think there's not that many people that could say that they sold that, Bitcoin at $58,000 or $60,000, because We didn't stay above $60,000 for a long time. So when this pi cycle top indicator actually starts triggering, I think that's when you need to get out of Bitcoin. Okay, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We haven't even got above the green line. We need the price to get above the green line at $198,000 Bitcoin. So that's my moon boy target for you Bitcoin guys. We could see $200,000 Bitcoin, $198,000 according to the pi cycle indicator, which has never been wrong the last couple of cycles. It's been right within a few days. It's one of the more powerful indicators out there. And then I just don't see the other topping signals out there for Bitcoin, like Coinbase app, the cryptocurrency apps. They're not in the top 5 apps that are out there on the on Apple on the Apple Store. Other indicators would be like you guys see bearish divergence playing out. Trying to think of like what are some of the other things. When you see people Google trending, Google Trends showing people Googling crypto and Bitcoin, when that gets the highs, then like people are too excited about Bitcoin. But I don't know. You talk to your friends and family. I'm pretty sure you guys have all talked to your friends and family, and they're not excited about crypto. And there's still people's aunts and uncles, cousins who aren't even in crypto, or they heard about it but they haven't actually bought any. I'll tell you what, when Bitcoin gets to $140,000, $150,000, they're going to be more likely to hit that buy button. They're going to ask you about crypto again. When you start getting new people asking you how to join crypto, how to get started with crypto, that's when you need to start worrying about selling Bitcoin. I think we saw that back last year around November, December. I had new people asking me about crypto and Bitcoin, but I haven't had that happen to me this year. So I think we're on the beginning of some beautiful things here, with more adoption in crypto, more people getting involved in Bitcoin, and yeah, I'm excited. I want to see Bitcoin at $118,000 though. Okay, but just to throw some water on me and keep my head level and cool, I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to the 618 at 114K. And even worse than that would be coming down to the 100-day moving average on 111K, and that 0.5 retracement at 111K. That could still happen, right? If something throws cold water on our parade here. But yeah, I think Bitcoin is doing fine. I think we're going to be fine, guys. I think we're going to be alright. Steve Hickey says 75% investors don't know anything about crypto, and we are the 25%. Yep. Well, I think people do know. They just haven't bought yet. They're not convinced yet, or they don't know how to, but they heard about it. So I think the majority of the world does know. Like, I think 50% of the world knows what crypto is. And then you gotta take into account that those numbers are taking account people who don't even have a bank account in Africa, right? But they don't need a bank account to get involved with Bitcoin. We all know that. And yeah, we're just going to see more people get involved in crypto and Bitcoin, especially when those altcoin ETFs come out later on this month, hopefully. We're not going to see the ETFs this month. We'll get decisions, and then I think we'll see the actual buying of the ETFs. Like, we'll see the ETFs start trading in the stock market in like November. And then you get the institutions and everybody else. Retail can start buying AVAX and Cardano on the stock market, Solana on the stock market. You'll start seeing that in like November, in my opinion here. But they'll hopefully come up with that decision. They'll give them the approval later on this month. And just leading up to that, that's going to cause the price of those cryptocurrencies to go up, as we're starting to see with Bitcoin, and we're already seeing that today, right? Yep. So nice green day, guys. Yeah. The only other cryptocurrency that I see that's in the red on my watch list is Avantis. Maybe this could be a buying opportunity for you guys here. Okay. This is a decentralized exchange, and this cryptocurrency might be worth taking a look at, since we've already had the correction here. Okay. That's my crypto that I think is worth looking at, while the other ones are already doing well for themselves. Okay, but yeah, I think my music kind of died down here. Music. Oh, we went past the time limit here on my live stream. I'll get the music queued up again, and I'll see you guys same time tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's gonna be it for this live stream. Take care, guys. Let's see. We want to listen to this one. See you tomorrow, guys.